Now we have exercises. By the time we finish solving these exercises, you see that you become better, you get better at using the kana and its sisters. تمرين الأول, the first exercise, the instruction says بين كل اسم وخبر لكان وأخواتها في الجمل الآتية. It says that indicate and identify, discuss all of the nouns and the khabar of kana and its sisters in these following sentences. The following sentences will find out these verbs kana and its sisters in them. So we have to explain the word, we have to identify the mubtada, the ismu kana, and also the khabaru kana. The first one we have kana Mahmudun Shuja'an. Mahmud was brave. Mahmud was courageous. The mubtada here is what? Mahmudun, and it's marfu carrying dhamma. And Shuja'an is the khabaru kana mansub. So we're going to form a table here. On the first column, we write the asma'u kana, the kana nouns and the sisters of kana. And the second, we write the akhbaru kana wa akhwatuha, the khabar of kana and its sisters. So in the first line, we have Mahmudun as the ismu kana and Shuja'an as the khabaru kana. The next example we have, exercise, we have asbah al-hisanu ja'in, and the horse became hungry. So al-hisanu is the ismu kana and ja'an is the khabaru kana. Number 3, we have sara al-awwalu akhiran. The first became the last. So al-awwalu is the ismu sara and akhiran is the khabaru sara. Next we have bat al-kalbu na'iman. The dog spent the night, remained sleepy during the time of the night. So al-kalbu is the ismu bata and na'iman is the khabaru bata. Number 5, we have laysa al-maydanu fasihan. The field is not wide, it's not spacious. Al-maydanu is the ismu kana, fasihan is the khabaru kana. Amsal ghaniyyu faqiran. The rich became poor during the time of the evening. So al-ghaniyyu is the ismu amsa and faqiran is the khabaru amsa. Adha is Adha sajinu taliqan. The prisoner became freed. As-sajinu is the ismu kana and taliqan is the khabaru kana, khabaru adha, sorry. Lastly, we have dhalla al-inabu kathiran. Grapes became many. So al-inabu is the ismu dhalla and kathiran is the khabaru dhalla. MashaAllah. Moving on to tamrinu thani, exercise number 2. The instruction says adkhil kana ala kulli jumlatin min al-jumal al-atiyah. Introduce kana to each of the following sentences. Washkul akhira kulli kalimatin fiha, and make sure you record the vowel of each of the words found in all of the sentences. Make sure you record the vowels, whether the vowel should have fatha or dhamma. Number 1, we have al-harisu mustaiqidun. The security man, the guard, is awake. So what do we say? Kana al-harisu mustaiqidun. MashaAllah. This is the correct voweling. Next, we have al-amu harrun. The ear is hot. What do we say? Kana al-amu harrun. The ear was hot. Harrun. Next, we have al-hisanu musrajun. The horse is saddled. What do we say? Kana al-hisanu musrajan. The horse was saddled. Next, we have al-hawdu mumtali'un. The pond is filled. What do we say? Or the basin is filled. We say what? Kana al-hawdu mumtali'an. Correct voweling. Next, we have al-miftahu da'i'un. The key is lost. We say kana al-miftahu da'i'an. The key was lost. Next, we have ad-dukhanu mutasa'idun. The smoke is rising. We say what? Kana ad-dukhanu mutasa'idan. We change the dun to dan. Al-babu maftuhun. We say kana al-babu maftuhan. Next, we have al-khadimu na'imun. The servant is sleepy. We say what? Kana al-khadimu na'iman. Next, we have an-nilu munkhafidun. The Nile, the river Nile is reduced. We say what? Kana an-nilu munkhafidun. We say that in each of these sentences, all of the first words, the nouns, are carrying dhamma, while the second, after introducing kana to them, they now carry fatha. Tamrinu Thalith, exercise number 3. The instruction says Adkhil Sara ala kulli jumlatin min al jumal al atiya. Introduce Sara to each of the following sentences. Washkul akhira kulli kalimatin fiha, and make sure you record the ending of all of the words, just the way we did in the previous exercise. Number one, we have ashajaru murikun. The tree is leafy. What do we say? Sara shajaru murikan. The tree became leafy. Number two, we have athamaru nadijun. The fruits, yeah, it's ripe. We say what? Sara thamaru nadijan. Next, an-nuru da'ifun. The light is dim. What do we say? Sara nuru da'ifan. Next, we have al-hawa'u baridun. The air is cold. We say sara al-hawa'u baridan. Next, al-qamaru makhsufun. The moon is how do we call it? The splitting of the moon. The moon is splitted. We say what? Sara al-qamaru makhsufan. Next we have al-ma'u ra'iqun. The water is clear. We say sara al-ma'u ra'iqan. Next al-makanu muzlimun. The place is dark. We say sara al-makanu muzliman. Next al-jawu harrun. The weather is hot. We say sara al-jawu harran. Next al-kabishu seminun. The ram is fat. We say sara al-kabishu seminan. The ram became fat. Tamrin al exercise number 4. The instruction says adkhil laysa ala kulli jumlatin min al-jumal al-atiya washkul akhira kulli kalimatin fiha. Introduce laysa to all of the following sentences and record their endings the same way we did in two previous exercises. Number 1, we have al-bina'u qawiyun. The building is strong. We say what? Laysa al-bina'u qawiyan. The building is not strong. Next, we have at-ta'amu shahiyun. The food is delicious. We say laysa at-ta'amu shahiyan. The food is not delicious. Number 3, we have al-amru hayyinun. The matter is easy. We say laysa al-amru hayyinan. The matter is not easy. Al-mudhnibu khaifun. The sinner is fearful. We say laysa al-mudhnibu khaifan. The sinner is not fearful. Next we have al-hawa'u nakiyun. The air is fresh. We say laysa al-hawa'u nakiyan. Next we have al-waladu maridun. The boy is sick. We say laysa al-waladu maridun. Next we have al-jidaru ma'ilun. The wall is bent or slanted. We say laysa al-jidaru ma'ilan. The wall is not slanted. Next we have al-qittu jai'un. The cat is hungry. We say laysa al-qittu jai, and the cat is not hungry. And lastly, al-hablu matinun. The rope is strong. We say laysa al-hablu matinan. The rope is not strong. Tamrin al-khamis, exercise number 5. The instruction says adkhil asbaha ala kulli jumlatin min al-jumal al-atiya washkul akhira kulli kalimatin fiha. Introduce the verb asbaha into the following sentences and record their endings. Number 1, we have adiku sa'ihun. The what do you call, the rooster or the cock is crowing. What do we say? Asbaha diku sa'ihan. Next we have azaru muballalun. The plant is wet. What do we say? Asbaha zaru muballalan. The plant became wet during the time of the morning. Next we have al-ma'u jamidun. The water is iced. What do we say? Asbaha al-ma'u jamidan. The water became iced during the time of the morning. Next we have al-usfuru mugarridun. The sparrow is singing. We say asbaha al-usfuru mugarridan. The sparrow became what? The sparrow woke up singing or remained sleeping singing during the time of the morning. Next we have al-labanu khasirun. The what is it called? The milk is curdled. We say asbaha al-labanu khasiran. The milk became curdled during the time of the morning. Ad-dababu kasifun. The fog is dense. We say what? Asbaha al-dababu kasifan. The fog became thick and became dense during the time of the morning. Next we have al-wardu mufattahun. The flower is opened. We say what? Asbaha al-wardu mufattahan. The flower became opened. Next, at-tilmidhu nashiton, the student is active. We say asbaha at-tilmidhu nashiton. Next, an-nilu fa'idun, the river Nile is surplus. We say what? Asbaha an-nilu fa'idun, the river Nile became surplus during the time of the morning. Tamarinu sa, this exercise number 6. The instruction says atmimil jumal al-atiya. Complete the following sentences. ثم ضبط أواخر كلماتها بشكل, and make sure you record the ending of each of the words of the following sentences by recording their vowels. Number 1, we have كان الحاكم dash. The ruler became what? كان الحاكم عادلا. The ruler was just. Next, we have Sar al-Adu. The enemy became Sadiqon, friend. Sadiqon is correct. Next, we have Laysa Dawa'u. The medicine is not, Murron is not bitter. Correct. Number 4, we have Asbah al-Banafsiju. Banafsij became what? What? Mufattahun became opened. Next, we have Dhall al-Adlu. The justice became Sa'idan, became ruling, became on top. It had it overpower. Next, we have Bata Dhalimu. Bata Dhalimu Muttahaman or Mazluman. The oppressor became the oppressed. During the time of the night, all through the night, the oppressor was the oppressed. Number 7, we have Amsa Sajinu. The prisoner became what? Taliqan during the time of the evening. And lastly, we have Adhal Mataru. The rain became Gaziron, torrential during the time of the Duha, forenoon. Tamrino Sabi, exercise number 7, the instruction says Atmimil Jumal al-Atiya. Complete the following sentences biwad'il ismil mahdhufi, by placing the lost or the missing noun fil makan al khadi, in these spaces below, wadbit akhirahu bishakl, and make sure you record the ending of the missing noun properly. Number 1, we have kana mustabiddan. Dash was tyrant who, kana al qadi أو كان الحاكم مستبدا. The ruler was tyrant, so al-hakimu we carry dhamma. Next we have laysa Aaron. We say what? Laysa al-faqru Aaron. Poverty is not a shame, so al-faqru will have dhamma. Next we have yabitu mutawajji'an. What do we say? Yabitul maridu mutawajji'an. The what? The sick slept complaining of pain. Al-maridu. Next we have yumsi masururon. Who? Yumsil muttaquna masururon. The what? The pious ones spent the night, became happy during the time of the evening. Next we have soro. Soro what? We can say what? Soro dakiku khubzan. The flour became bread. Asbaha who? Asbah al-maridu saliman. The sick became cured during the time of the morning. And next we have the yadhallu dash mushtagila. We can see yadhallu al-amilu. The worker became busy during the time of the noon. Next we have yudahi muzdahiman. We can say yudahi shari'u muzdahiman. The street became crowded during the time of the forenoon. Tamrin of farming, exercise number 8. The instruction says Kawin Thamaniya Jumalin. Form 8 sentences. Tashtamilu kullu thnataini minha ala al-mudari min kana. Making sure that every 2 of these sentences should have kana, soro, asbaha, and bata ala tartib, in the way we have arranged them. And this soro, kana, soro, asbaha, and wabata should be in their present tense verbs. What we have to do is to form 8 sentences. These 8 sentences should be divided in their 2's. Each of the 2 should have the present form of kana, and the next 2 should have a present form of soro, and the next 2 should have a present form of asbaha, and the last 2 should have the present tense of bata. Can we do this? Yes. The first one we can say, using kana, we can say yakunul waladu rajulan. The boy is becoming a man. Next, we can say yakunul bin. We can say takunul bintu umman. The girl is becoming a mother. Next, we have sorrow. The present tense of sorrow is yasiru. We're going to use this to also form two sentences. The first, we can say yasirul waladu aban. The boy is becoming a man. Next, we have yasirul ummu bintan. The mother is becoming a girl if it is possible. Next, we have asbaha. Asbaha, the present tense will be yusbihu. We can say yusbihu zalimu mazluman. The oppressor became what? The oppressed. Next, we have yusbihul waladu and the boy woke up, the boy became hungry during the time of the morning. And lastly, we have bata. The present tense is yabitu. We can say yabitu nahimu jai, and the glutton, we slept what? Hungry. Next, we can say yabitul asadu maridon. The lion became sick during the time of the night. Moving on to Tamrinun fil Insha exercise in what? Al Insha, which is composition. The first exercise we have here is, instruction says, Kawin khamsa jumalin fi wasfil jawu bihaythu tabtadi'u kullu jumlatin minha bikana. Form 5 sentences describing the weather in each of these sentences and making sure that each of the sentences begin with kana. We have to form 5 sentences on the topic of describing the weather and making sure we begin the sentence with kana. The first one, I can say kana al-jawu ghaiman. The weather was cloudy. Next, I can say kana al-jawu baridan. The weather was cold. Next, I can say kana al-jawu harran. The weather was hot. Next, I can say kana al-jawu mu'tadilan. The weather was temperate or moderate. And lastly, I can say kana al-jawu mumtiran. The weather was rainy. Number 2, the instruction says kawin khamsa jumalin fi wasfil ma. Form 5 sentences in the description of water. Bihaythu tabtadi'u kulla jumlatin minha bi asbaha. By making sure that each of the sentences found there begins with asbaha. The first, I can say asbaha al-ma'u ra'iqan. The water became clear during the time of the morning. Next, I can say asbaha al-ma'u nadhifan. The water became clean. Next, I can say asbaha al-ma'u baridan. The water became hot. Asbaha al-ma'u harran. The water became hot. And asbaha al-ma'u jamidan. The water became iced. Number 3, the instruction says kawin khamsa jumalin fi wasfil kitab. Form 5 sentences in describing the book. Bihaythu tabtadi'u kulla jumlatin minha bi laysa. And make sure each of these 5 sentences begin with laysa. We can begin by saying laysa al-kitabu ghaliyan. The book is not costly. Next, we can say laysa al-kitabu maftuhan. The book is not opened. We can say laysa al-kitabu jadidan. The book is not new. Laysa al-kitabu qadiman. The book is not old. And laysa al-kitabu thaqilan. The book is not heavy. Number 4, the instruction says kawin khamsa jumalin fi wasfil kaslan. Form 5 sentences describing the lazy. Bihaythu tabtadi'u kulla jumlatin minha bi dhalla. And make sure each of the sentences we are talking about to begin with dhalla. Next, the first one we can say dhalla al-kaslanu jai'an. The lazy became hungry during the time of the noon. Next, we can say dhalla al-kaslanu nadiman. The lazy became regretful. Next, we can say dhalla al-kaslanu muttahaman. The lazy was accused. Next, we can say, or indicted. Next, we can say what? Dhalla al-kaslanu hazinan. The lazy was hazinan was grief, was aggrieved. And next, we can say dhalla al-kaslanu mansiyan. The lazy was forgotten. Moving to number 5, the instruction says kawin khamsa jumalin fi wasfil amil. Form 5 sentences in which you shall be describing the worker. بحيث تبتدئ كل جملة منها بأمسى, making sure each of the sentences begin with amsa. The first one I can say amsal amilu mut'aban, the worker became tired during the time of the evening. I can say amsal amilu masrurun, the worker became happy. Amsal amilu shakirun, the worker became appreciative. And I can say amsal amilu naiman, the worker became sleepy. And lastly, I can say amsal amilu maridon, the worker became sick during the time of the evening. Moving on to the last exercise, tamarinun fil i'rab, exercise on grammatical analysis. We have namudaj sample to follow in solving the coming ones. The first sample says soral inabu zabiban, grape became raisins. So we have sora is fi'lun madin. That is the grammatical function. Al-inabu is ismu sara marfu'un, the noun, the nominal noun of sara, and it is in the nominative case. And zabiban is the khabaru sara, mansubun is the predicate of sara in the accusative case. Sample number two, we have yabitu al-qitaru sa'iran, the train passed the night running or moving. Yabitu is fi'lun mudari'un marfu, and al-qitaru is ismu yabitu marfu'un, and sa'iran is khabaru yabitu mansub. Now coming to solving ours, we have Arib Jumal al-Atiya. Analyze the following sentences. Number one, we have Laysa Zujaju Maksuran. The bottle is not broken, or the bottle was not broken. The bottle was not broken. Laysa is fi'lun madin. Az-zujaju is ismu laysa. And maksuran is khabaru laysa mansub. Number two, we have kan al binau aliyan. The building, the structure is lofty. We can say al kana fi'lun madin, al binau ismu kana marfu, and aliyan is khabaru kana mansub. Number three, we have yusbihul midadu jafan. The ink became dried up during the time of the morning. We can say yusbihu fi'lun mudari'un marfu, al midadu ismu yusbihu marfu, jafan khabaru yusbihu mansub. And lastly, yabitul bahru haijan, the river became flowing, or the river was overflowing when it is raging. So we can say yabitu fi'lu mudari marfu, al bahru ismu yabitu marfu, haijan khabaru yabitu marfu mansub. With this, we come to the end of this topic, where we have been able to explain kana or akhawatuha, kana and its subordinates, and the rules which guide kana. Make sure you resolve all of these exercises by yourself, and if possible, you can drop your answers in the comment section so we see the progress you've made during this period. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to reward your efforts abundantly and to grant us the reward. Make sure you like, share with your friends in order for them to participate with us in this language learning lessons. We also implore you to subscribe to our channel in order to get frequent updates from us. Until we meet again, I say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.